What's up everybody? Today I'm here to share with you my top 10 action films of all time. Now it was very hard to come up with a list because these are not the only action films that I like, so I had to kind of choose the ones that I watched the most. So let's get this started. Number 10, The Matrix. It was introduced to us in 1999. First of all, I love Keanu Reeves. I thought that he was absolutely awesome on the role of Neo, but he's not the only reason why The Matrix is on this list, but because this film has indeed some awesome action. This movie also popularized the bullet time effect, where we see Neo dodging bullets in a jaw-dropping moment. And after that, every single movie kind of copied the same effect. Now, this movie provides a great storyline, awesome slow-mo action, as well as fast-paced action, great character, and I definitely recommend it. So yes, The Matrix is one of my favorite action films of all time. Number 9, The Dark Knight. This movie was directed by Christopher Nolan, and it is packed with awesome action. This movie is awesome. It was a big box office success and a great cast. Impressive acting by Heath Ledger. Really incredible pacing. One of my favorite scenes from the film is the truck chasing scene, where we can see explosions and then Batman appears, and then we get to see the Batmobile as well. The Batmobile becomes into a motorcycle, and I think that that's a really cool example of the amount of awesome action that this movie provides. So yes, it's definitely on my list and I definitely recommend it. Number 8, Jurassic Park. This is a movie directed by Steven Spielberg, and it's a film that I can go back and watch it over and over again without ever getting bored. It is definitely timeless. This film is packed with tension and action, and it has great visual effects that still work to this day. One of my favorite scenes on the film is when the T-Rex is actually attacking the kids inside the car. That is the first time we're introduced to the T-Rex, and I think that that scene is terrifying and awesome at the same time. So I really love Jurassic Park. I'm never gonna forget how it made me feel when I first saw it, and yes, it's definitely on my list. Great action film. Number 7, The Gladiator by Ridley Scott. Now this movie, it's absolutely awesome. It's a beautiful cinematography. The story is very compelling, and Russell Crowe absolutely rocks as the Gladiator. Now this movie is a little bit bloody, but it has intense and really awesome action scenes. I love action films that has great character development as well as a compelling story, because nowadays there are so many action films with action for the sake of action. However, I believe that Gladiator is the complete film where you have an awesome compelling story, great character development, as well as awesome action scenes. So yes, it's definitely on my list. Number 6, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Now, to be fair, it is very hard to pick a favorite amongst the 3 originals because I believe that they are equally very good. However, when it comes to the action, I have to pick Temple of Doom. When I first watched Indiana Jones, I was a kid and I really wanted to go in an adventure with Indiana Jones. I had a very vivid imagination, and the fact that Short Round, a kid, was there with Indiana Jones going on adventure really gave me hope. So I really enjoyed that movie a lot. Now, this film has one of my favorite Indiana Jones scenes. That's the one where Indiana Jones is on the bridge and he's telling people he's gonna cut it. I absolutely love that scene. I also love the fight scene inside the mine, as well as the roller coaster ride. I had a lot of fun as a kid watching that film. I believe that Indiana Jones always provides a good time. Temple of Doom is definitely on my list. Number 5, The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. This movie is directed by Peter Jackson, and it has awesome action. Now, it is very hard to pick a favorite amongst the 3 because they're equally very good, just like Indiana Jones. However, when it comes to the action, I have to pick The Return of the King. This movie has one of the most epic battle scenes that I have ever seen. The Battle of Pelennor Fields outside Minas Tirith is freaking awesome. In that battle, you get to see orcs, you get to see gigantic elephants that they actually call it oliphants. You get to see Legolas doing a really awesome move along with Gimli. We also see Gandalf kicking ass, and the awesome Aragorn joining the battle with the army of the dead. This film does not only have impressive visuals, great character development, and a compelling story, but it is action-packed. It also concludes the trilogy in an epic way. You should definitely check this film out. Number 4, Alien. You might not know this, but I love monster films. I think that they're great fun. And this sci-fi film, it is packed with great action scenes. I love watching this film because this is the introduction to the xenomorph, you know, that terrible monster that kills a lot of people. And it's also the first time that we see Ripley taking down one of these horrible creatures by herself. She's awesome. The action in this film keeps me on the edge of my seat every single time I go back and watch. I love films that have a very powerful villain because that way you're always thinking, oh my god, how can survive that? Will they survive that? And then towards the end, if they do manage to survive, the victory is way more satisfying. And Alien is exactly like that. This is a great film. Great cinematography, great character development, compelling story, and awesome action. And for that reason, Alien is definitely on my list. Number 3, Predator. Now, if you have been around my channel, you probably have heard me talk about Predator. The movie is one of my favorite action films of all time. You know, I think this film has the complete package. It has tension, it has great character development, compelling story, it has awesome action, as well as Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, this film is very high up on my list because first when you start watching this film, you think it's gonna be a war film, but then it turns into a survival film in which the characters have to run for their lives. This movie has great soundtrack, and I think the Predator is definitely one of my favorite monster characters of all time. I absolutely love this film, and I think you should definitely check this out. Great action film. Number 2, Star Wars: A New Hope. Now, it is very hard indeed to pick a favorite from the original trilogy because they're equally good and then one movie completes the other. However, when it comes to the action, I have to choose A New Hope because that's the movie that actually introduced us this awesome and incredible world that is Star Wars. This movie has awesome action scenes as well as impressive visual effects that actually changed cinema. The movie already begins with great action when we see Darth Vader invading Leia's ship. In this film, we get to meet the gang, Luke, Han, and Leia. We get to see spaceship, we get to see blaster, we get to see explosions, we get to see Obi-Wan fighting with a lightsaber with Darth Vader. So this film promises and delivers. I will never forget how I felt when I first saw Star Wars: A New Hope. So because of the great action that this movie provides, The New Hope, it's definitely on my list. And number 1, my top favorite action film of all time is Terminator 2, another awesome Arnold Schwarzenegger film. This film is directed by James Cameron and it has impressive visual effects and awesome action. You get to see 2 Terminators going against each other. Usually sequels do not tend to live up to the originals, but Terminator 2 do not disappoint. There is absolutely awesome chasing car scenes, explosions, and shooting. We got to see Sarah Connor doing some awesome stuff and kicking ass. I love the Terminator films. 1 and 2 are my favorite because I believe those are the ones where the stories and the characters are actually very compelling. Terminator 2 is very high up in my list because I can again watch this film over and over again and never get bored. And I believe that this film is one of James Cameron's masterpieces. So these are my top 10 action films of all time. Now, let me know, do you agree with my list? Do you have a different list? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what are your top 10 films of all time. And if you enjoy action films but you haven't seen any of the films on this list, I recommend that you check them out because they are awesome films. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave your thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Big box office success. Okay. Big box office success. Office success. Oh gosh. Okay.